Hello. I want to start by telling you some stories, and then afterwards I'll do a breakdown of exactly what I want to talk about behavioral change. Now, in 2009, when my marriage did not work, women were the greatest people who brought me down, tore me into pieces, and called me different names. Despite that they did not know what I had to endure in my marriage, they didn't know what I went through as a person. That aside, the story of my marriage is not the reason we're here today, but the reason I'm here today is to talk to you exactly on how to change your behavior, which is transforming from that person that you are towards making life better for a fellow woman like you. There are other speakers who will be talking about financial aspects and all that. I'm not a financial person, but I'm going to tell you about the practical things that have happened to me that tore me into shreds, that if it wasn't for the grace of God, I wouldn't have been here where I am today. Now, first and foremost, I went for a wedding with my son. Then my son was 3 years or 4 years old. He wasn't feeling well, so I had to go for a wedding with him. In the church, I stood up and I went to give offering. As I was dancing back, someone spoke a word. See all these useless women when if it spend 1 month for marriage. And amazingly, I was shocked. I cried. I picked up my son and I left my wedding. I didn't attend the reception. I went home and I was broken for more than 3 weeks. It went like that. Another day, I was at Total, close to Obasanjo shopping complex. I went to pick up my newspaper as a journalist. Every morning, I go to pick up my newspaper. And then as I just passed again, another lady said, see all these ones. The men don't let them sit down for husband house. And I went, wow, men. I wasn't able to go to work again that day. I turned back and I cried back home. This is the second story. And the third story again was that in 2015, when I was going to be made the press secretary to the wife of the governor, a woman like me took her paper and biro, wrote, typed and sent to her office that it was printed in the newspapers, Daily Independent, that it was irresponsible for anybody to take a divorcee for a press secretary, that it was going to look as if the person was encouraging divorce and give younger girls the appetite to leave marriage if after leaving marriage they were going to turn out to have political appointments. I had already grown a thick skin at that time. What am I trying to say here today? As women, we need to change our character, we need to change our behavior, we need to be transformed. Do not use your mouth to tear another woman down. Some people never, ever recover. Never do they recover from it. So from that moment, I made up my mind. I said I was going to be an inspiration and I was going to be a source of change. Any young girl that is coming, any woman who needs my assistance, who needs my help, or who needs me to do anything for her, I am willing to do. A girl called me up one day from IBB University, Lapai, and she said, someone gave me your number, ma. I am the nanny's. I can't remember what she even said. The truth is I can't remember her name at the moment. And she said, when she called me, I didn't pick up. Then she sent me a message that I'm going to be a speaker at her event, and she gave me a date. And you know what? I looked at it. She's a young girl growing up and I needed to help her. I needed to encourage her. I traveled all the way to Lapai and I gave my speech there at Lapai. And I came back. I have never spoken to that girl after that day up till today. Now, I'm going to tell you quickly as women, it is time we leave, northern women. It is time for us to throw away the bring me down syndrome thing. If you bring me down from today till tomorrow, it does not change who Aisha Wakaso is going to be. It does not change who any other person is going to be. There is something we should believe as northerners. Everybody's life and destiny is in the hands of God. Secondly, as northern women, we have to take this mentality off our heads. It has to be marriage. Nobody is saying you shouldn't get married. Nobody is saying marriage isn't a beautiful thing. But as much as possible, try to own a life. Try to get a life before you think about marriage. We are not saying you shouldn't get married. Get married. Get something to do. These men are getting overwhelmed too. Men are suffering. How can a man provide everything in this harsh economic situation? Men are suffering. Men are going through a lot. They are committing suicides and they are having heart attacks, hypertension. So I think we need to, as women, yes, think marriage, it's fine, but then have something to contribute. Don't just take only your butt, your bum and breast to a marriage. Let something be in your head. As much as possible, use your time judiciously. I'm sorry I'm talking a bit very fast because I have just 5 minutes. Use your time judiciously. Use your time. There is no time for amebo. I don't visit people. Go and ask everybody who knows me. You can't find me take a bath. drive my car and go and say I'm visiting anybody. There is no time for that. Develop yourself. Read books, read books, read books. The books I have read over time and from over years are the things that are actually helping me today. Avoid bandwagon syndrome. Super wax. You don't have to tie super wax. If you know me as a person, if you know Aisha Wakaso, I don't wear super wax. Somebody dashed me super wax one day. Wallahi kyotaneedashi. If I wear my trouser, even if it is gonjo, it is nobody's business. It does not change the person that I am. It does not change the thing that I have in my head. And stop as women. Let your looks not just be the only thing that you have. Every day we're out with our phones, selfies. You want to use the most expensive phones. You want to embarrass you. A lot of us go to the extent of embarrassing ourselves, sleeping with different men because we want phones. It doesn't work like that. If you use a cheap phone today, tomorrow you could be a minister. That's the difference with us, northern women, and some of the women from the southern part of the world. They prefer going to Lagos Market, Balogun. You will see young girls carrying things on their head, working hard. At the end of the day, when they take their bath and get into the clubs, you won't even know that they are the same people. But here in the north, the only thing we know is we want to use this phone. We're thinking of the big man to marry. There are only few big men, and that is why we're all dying of depression now, because the standards we have set for ourselves, for the kind of men that we want, do not exist. These young boys are just coming up. They have their little money. You don't want to stay in Gidan Haya. You want to go and stay in a man who already has a house, has a car. Where do you find these boys? The boys want to get married. There are no girls who want to get married. We have to change. You have to learn how to save. You have to save money. You have to invest. I'm not talking about the kind of savings that when you save, your money just disappears. I'm saying invest. Even in yourself, you need to learn how to respect. Our northern girls have lost respect. In fact, there has never really been a time we have respect. We don't respect ourselves anymore, and then we don't respect people who are older than us. You see a woman who is older than you, better than you in so many ways, that you could take up as a role model. Even if you don't talk to her as a role model, pick up a few good things from her life. You will see how you will pass. How does Akima was chicken kuskei? It is really horrible. You have to be patient. All of us who got to where we are, or who are where we are today, never, ever started like this. There was a time I was climbing Okada in Mina. There was a time I started with a small car. I started to grow. And then today I can find anything that I want for myself. You have to be humble. You are not anybody. You don't have anything. Yet, pride will not let us to rest. Northern women, begin to calm down and take life easy. Then you have to have confidence in yourself. You cannot walk up to me as a northern woman and say that you need me to give you a job. And at the end of the day, you cannot even express yourself properly. I will kick you off my window and get somebody who can do better than you. You have to take your work seriously. Some of you do not even know how to write properly. How can you write me a message and you Y-O-U, you will write it as you to me? D-T-H-E, you will write it as letter D to me. For what purpose? It already shows that you are an unserious person. So you have to develop yourself, take your life seriously, and then be authentic. You don't have to copy everybody. I am in Mina. There is no second Aisha Wakaso in Mina, and I don't feel anything about it. All of you are there killing yourself. We've on human hair, wig. How many thousand? 200. 500 I've cut my hair. Now I'm not encouraging you to cut your hair, but I'm telling you, be different in your own way that makes life easy for you. If you understand what I'm saying, you develop yourself. Work all the time. Don't get tired of working. Don't be ashamed to seek for help. When I mean seek for help, if you need help, maybe academically, psychologically, that's the greatest problem we have as women now. A lot of us are going through depression and we're ashamed to talk to ourselves. Imagine that. If we were doing well, why should I be ashamed to tell my fellow sister? The other day I was down emotionally, I was going crazy. It was a guy that I spoke to, and I tell you, that guy followed me up. He has a wife. His wife is my paddy, but she will not understand. Up till this morning, he kept disturbing me. Aisha, hope you are okay. I said, I'm fine. If we have let people throw our confidence away, and now it lies in the hands of men, then we are finished as women. So I'd like to encourage us. I'm not going to speak the grammar of, you have to do this, you have to do that, financial this. I don't know finances. But I'm going to tell you the exact things that happen to us as human beings in our day-to-day lives, and the things that we should stop and we should change. Let's have behavioral change. Let's transform ourselves from that. And above all, there is nothing you will do as a woman that you'll succeed if you don't pray, and pray. Because this thing I know has never ever failed anybody. Thank you very much.